going on, everybody? You're listening to another episode of Loud About Nothing. It's me, your boy, the fucking hottest dude in the podcast game, Sebastian Conelli. And as always, we got the cute boy here himself, Robbie boy. Robbie, say hello to the beautiful people.
What's going on, beautiful people?
I'm excited.
Very excited.
We got a good guest today. We got a man with stories, a man that's lived a life, and I fucking love that. That's the type of people I like to hang out with.
I know.
I don't like to hang out with fucking losers. Yeah. They go, what'd you do? I was into board games. No, that's not what I like. This guy's a fucking dude. He's literally a comedian, a filmmaker, a fucking amazing filmmaker, and more importantly, the most important of them all, a man I call my friend, Anthony Sneed.
Oh my God.
What's up, bro?
You got to edit out the comedian. I wouldn't associate myself with that.
I said it to make you feel good.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
I taught you comedy, so let's say it.
I mean, what? So I'm a comedian?
Your films are comedic.
Yeah.
So what do we? Yeah, you might as well just say comedian.
Yeah, but there's like people think it's like a stand-up thing, right?
Even I get insecure about saying comedian.
Yeah, right.
And what do I do? People ask what I do. What would you say I do?
You just yell really loud.
Thank you so much. All right, let's get to it. Robbie, why do you have Vaseline all over your fucking body today?
Not all over my body, on my lips.
Okay, but like the question is why? Who uses Vaseline?
Yeah,
I was advised that was a thing to use.
By who?
By my friend, who is a hot girl. And she was like, "Yeah, this is I
for what,
seek though? Cosmetic for like I was like chapstick, Burt's Bees. Like, what are you supposed to be doing on the lips to keep them hydrated?" This was like during ski season when I was getting cold sores, and I was like, "What should I be using?" And she was like, "Vaseline, Old Faithful. It's still good to use."
I actually do know a girl that Vaselines her face at night.
Vaseline's the entire face.
It's like keeps in the moisture overnight.
Interesting.
I can't use Vaseline after the Ice Cube song, No Vaseline.
No Vaseline. What do you do? You look like you're about 23.
Yeah. I'm 38. I use this.
He looks like he's 23.
I use Carmex SPF 15 Strawberry.
What about the rest of the face?
What's going on with this?
Yeah. Do you get Botox, Sneed?
I got Botox before.
See? Yeah.
Okay.
This is nice.
Before. But like,
you fast.
I don't fast.
You really?
Not really.
By accident.
I mean, I think no. Sometimes I'll go to like lunch to like I'll eat my first meal at 1.
Yeah. Okay. All right. But you have a skincare routine that you do on your face.
Yeah. For sure. It's like really rudimentary. It's just astringent with like a pad.
Oh,
every night.
I've used it at your house.
Yeah, it's the best.
I used to shower every day in his jacuzzi.
In his jacuzzi?
Yeah.
You would shower?
I would get naked and stand. Yeah, I would stand in his jacuzzi and shower with not with him, but
you almost said with him.
No,
sometimes
would there be like a shower head in a jacuzzi?
No, he'd be like, hey Anthony, come here for a second. I'd be standing there like naked. I'm like, dude, what the fuck are you doing?
100%. He's walked in a couple times, me standing naked in the jacuzzi. I needed a towel or something.
It's like the Copper Tone Baby, just like with like a lot more awareness.
Yeah. Except I am the dog pulling my ass out, you know? Yeah. I always wanted to take a bath in your jacuzzi. Do you know that?
Everyone says that. Yeah. They're like, do you use it? And I'm like, no, I don't.
That's really disappointing. What do I have to do to bring a girl over to the jacuzzi in your house?
Oh, just.
When you're gone, let me jacuzzi in your house.
Oh, I'm gonna be there.
You're still gonna be there?
Yeah.
Okay.
You can jacuzzi in my place one
time. Can I jacuzzi? I'm gonna hook up.
If you get a girl though, I gotta see her first.
You gotta see 8s or above?
No, I gotta make sure she's real.
Oh, my Jesus! The kids hit me with shots.
Sebastian is like, there's like 3 people in this world that treat me the way Sebastian does, and it's like this guy Gabe who works for Vice. I've known him for years.
Yeah.
Sean Hart and you. Like, I can't be myself without getting like, it's like a roast all the time.
Well, I mean, right before the podcast, the kid goes, "I don't drink coffee," and they go, "So what do you do?" He goes, "Nah, I don't drink coffee, not for years." I go, "Oh, really?" He goes, "Yeah, I do a shot of espresso every morning." What are we talking here, Sneed? That's coffee in the morning.
It's a cocoa
I have
bean.
I have a question.
Questions allowed.
Is the you're saying it's coffee?
Yes.
And it's in the sense of like you would drink a cup of coffee?
Yes.
You would drink a cup. You see, it's a shot, so I think it's different.
You haven't seen how thick my throat
is.
Oh,
this is interesting. Is coffee the cocktail to a shot is an espresso?
Yes, that's it. A
Great.
coffee is a beer.
So he's
an
not
espresso
saying,
is a
he's
shot.
not
Yeah,
saying
I
I
don't
don't do the caffeine.
Yeah.
He's not saying I don't do anything derived from a cocoa bean. He's just saying I don't drink cups of coffee.
You don't drink beers. You drink shots.
I've never had a beer in my life.
You've never
Shut
had a beer
up.
in your life.
No.
Are you gluten free or
No.
no?
That's where the skin is coming in.
Maybe. And I never
That
smoked a
might be.
cigarette.
You've never smoked a cigarette.
No. So,
You've smoked, though.
a cigarette?
Other stuff. Weed.
That's not what we're talking about. This is literally why you just set yourself up and you fell in your own trap.
I did. I fucked myself on that one. I fucked myself. No. I've smoked a cigarette. Have you smoked a cigarette, Rob?
Yeah. A few times.
Yeah. It's gross. I don't
Yeah,
understand anyone.
I honestly
who would.
learned how to inhale things I smoke recently. So I actually smoked the first cigarette that I've actually like inhaled recently, and it was very harsh. And I was like, this is horrible.
Did you do it again after?
No, I haven't done it.
Oh, it makes me so nauseous. It literally makes me so
Yeah, it was
sick.
not.
Cigarettes.
It was not enjoyable.
You ever smoke a cigar though?
Yeah.
That's fun, isn't
First
it?
one I ever smoked was with, George Romero, the filmmaker?
Of course.
You know Tina, right?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
Tina.
so-
Yeah.
So they're like, that was the initiation.
Tell everyone who George is if they don't know.
George Romero is a film director who like did Night of the Living Dead, Dawn of the Dead, Creepshow, like
Oh wow.
A god of horror.
yeah, oh for sure,
The godfather of horror, people might
For
say, right?
sure.
Yeah.
yeah. And I remember because
I never met him, but I know Tina.
No, Tina's
Yeah.
like my sister. She actually lives right around here.
Oh, does she? I bumped into her a couple times, but
She's-
that's neither here nor there.
Yeah. So I had this cigar and it was like, you don't really inhale. So it's so different. But you're in a
Yeah.
room with everybody else smoking, so you are inhaling.
Yes.
which
Yeah,
is
yeah.
weird.
You know why? Cigars and energy.
Yeah.
It's like it makes you feel a type of way. I'll never know what it's like to put on lingerie, but I imagine it's a similar feeling for a man smoking a cigar. It makes me feel sexy. It makes me feel like large in a good way.
I would actually probably enjoy putting on lingerie.
Interesting.
Well, I remember when I was a kid, like my mom
Okay.
had silk underwear, and I was just like that material was like such a turn on at like 3.
Yeah.
So you think you would feel?
I'm
sexy?
watching the light.
He just said he got turned on by his mom's underwear.
Yeah.
Yeah, here
Oh,
we go.
come on. Oh, we're
Yeah,
gonna
yeah.
all deny the Freudian shit? Come on. Come on.
Robbie, are you denying Freud? Are you denying Freud?
I don't think
Right
I've
now?
ever been turned on by my mom's under. Yeah,
It-
probably not.
It
Probably
didn't
not.
matter that it was my mom's.
Yeah,
it
yeah,
was,
I see
it
what
was
you're
just
saying.
like
Yeah,
this
yeah,
material
yeah,
that
yeah.
was like, it
Yeah.
was amazing.
It felt nice against the skin.
I've gotten turned on from like underwear for sure.
When I
like
was-
walking in Target, I'm like, if it's been
Oh,
a minute,
yeah.
if it's been a minute,
Let's just get ahead of it. Mannequins are hot as fuck.
yeah.
Mannequins are very hot.
Mannequins. I did. My first short film at school was about a mannequin, actually.
And what happened?
It was about a guy who sees his ex-girlfriend in a mannequin.
Interesting.
Wow.
Yeah.
There's definitely
Who
been
died?
people that
Who died?
Oh, she
Oh, okay,
died.
okay,
okay. So it was like me, dealing with the tonality of the film.
Yeah.
I didn't nail it. You know,
Okay. Yeah,
it was
yeah.
like the funny part was like too funny. And like the serious, you're like, do I feel sad for this guy? Like I didn't really get a chance to go there because it was a short.
Sure.
But yo, when I was 7 years old,
Okay.
I have a life of like doing shit that's like crazy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right? Like, you know this. When I was 7 years old, we went to Steinbeck's in New Jersey with my mom. She'd be shopping, and I stole all of the photos, the tags of the girls in the bras and the underwear. And I went back home, and I made a collage art, and I hung it up in my room.
I mean, you're an artist.
And my mom caught me.
Could you get mad or?
I think she got mad to me, but I think she was like laughing to her, like everyone and like her friends and shit.
Yeah,
I still have it.
You do?
I got the
You do a nostalgia jerk every so often.
Yeah, of course. No,
Of course.
I don't do that.
You don't do a nostalgia jerk? You should.
No, I don't. No.
Once a year I jerk off to Carmen Electra
You do. Keep it fresh.
for a nostalgia jerk.
Carmen Electra.
Or
Wow.
the woman from I Deep Throats.
What's
Oh
that?
my God,
Heather Brooks! Heather Brooks, look at me right! Heather Brooks gets your boy acting like a slut!
I don't even know who that
You
is.
know who this is?
Oh, I know who this is.
She's a throat goat.
This is early. It was great because
LimeWire days.
LimeWire
Yeah,
days. It was
nasty.
great. It was early. You know, I cannot remember how we watched porn in the 2000s. I don't remember. before like the YouTube stuff, like the porn. I don't even watch porn, like whatever. I watch one of them.
Xtube, Hamster, whatever.
Whatever. Yeah. How did we watch porn?
We downloaded it and we watched the same
But
video.
how did we know
what
was out? Like how did we do it?
We would just hear lore from one person to another.
I would
about
watch like
what to type in.
previews of websites. I would know websites, and there would be like 30-second previews.
I completely forgot about previews.
Yeah, and there'd be videos, or they're coming soon, and I would watch like a 2-minute preview.
It was a compilation of what's to come.
Yeah.
So what's interesting, what I've noticed is that this new generation, like Generation Z or whatever it is, especially the girls, they're like really sex savvy in a sense. Like the girls that are having sex now that are coming up are like, they're going to like harder S&M shit right away. I was talking to this girl I knew, and she's like, I saw my first like hardcore porn at like 6 on the internet. It was a pop-up by accident.
Jesus Christ.
Oh wow, that's
so
wild.
Like every girl, like not every girl, but I think at least from now versus like 15, 20 years ago, the majority of girls that are into like harder S&M stuff, like choking, spanking, slapping, all that kind of stuff, spinning, whatever it is, they request it way more like unprompted. And I'm like, whoa, this is like...
It's actually open and sexually fair, you know? I think it's nice. Actually.
No, I think it's cool. It's a lot more mature as opposed to like, you go to a different country, it's like you turn on the TV, it's like there's like regular porn and no one makes a big deal about it.
And that you think the generation coming up now is going to feel
I think so too. I think it's just a religion, Catholicism and like, and the mafia. Those are things we don't deal with as much as we used to deal with 30 years ago. They had such a stronghold over the city.
Yeah.
And like the world and the country.
Yeah.
Like, you think the mafia was anti-sex?
I think
in that way.
I think it's like anything. It's like they'll do it, and then they'll just atone for it.
Yeah,
and it's okay.
Also, they benefited from making it a wrong thing. The mafia benefits from making anything illegal or wrong.
Yeah.
They loved when liquor was illegal.
Yeah.
Anyone that's how the mafia became who they are, is through prohibition. It wasn't 100%. Like make something illegal. The people go, great, that's more business for me.
Yeah.
The underground.
That's actually what I think. I genuinely believe that this whole fucking the Supreme Court abortion situation,
a topic we
you guys have gotten into this.
We just think it's wrong. We've mentioned that.
Of course it's wrong. Yeah. There's no question. But I think the real reason is that there's more bodies for war.
Interesting.
Because there's not enough kids being born. Because why would you think about who's having babies, right? People that are going to probably vote not Republican. So why would you want these babies so much? We don't got that many. We don't have manpower. Who's signing up for war?
I don't know. Not me.
I don't know.
I'm pro-choice and I'm anti-war.
But I was riding down Kent the other day, and this guy, I was like going fast. I didn't want to hit the brakes, and like the light turned red, but I was good. And the guy's like, "Hey man, it's a fucking red light." And he's like holding the toddler, and I was like, "Yo, chill." And then he was like, "Yo, tell me to chill," and I was like, "I'm not gonna get off this bike." But that's the kind of fights that we're getting into in New York City. Whereas like 20 years ago, you know, when I first moved to the city, it was like the Wild West. It was crazy.
How was it crazy back then?
It was like when you go to like Flatiron area or like 28th and you see like a lot of the dudes selling like illegal purses and shit. Mm-hmm. That was everywhere.
Interesting.
Dude, I went to Canal Street the year after 9/11 and I remember when like 50-cent mixtapes were happening. I bought, this is the most American thing I've ever seen. There was a lighter, I bought it, of course I bought it, of the Twin Towers, and it said never forget, and it had the one Twin Tower exploded, or like on fire, and then the plane going into the next one, when you hit the button, the LED light in the flame, and then the plane would go off, and this was less than a year after. The most American thing ever.
They were making money off of
the most American thing, like commodifying it
on the side of a lighter. Yeah,
on the side of
it. God, I wish I had it. I wish
that's
I still
wild.
had it.
Yeah.
Wild.
Have you found it on?
I tried to find it. Yeah. No, I can't. Find it.
So people don't know, but you have like a long history of being an art. You were a street artist for a long time.
No, I mean I was in that world because a lot of my friends were in that world, but I started doing...
You made pieces, right?
No. Yeah, but not so much outside. Like, yeah, I did do some stuff outside, but I wouldn't call myself a street artist. And I think that was like, you know, knowing where you fit in. Like, all my people that I was friends with and all the galleries that I showed at were all street art galleries, but I wasn't a street artist.
You wouldn't go outside and do it. It was more on canvas.
Yeah, not really. I did a couple murals for sure, but I wouldn't say I'm a street artist.
Well, you would do controversial stuff like that. Like pieces like that must have inspired your arts. He has one that's like a video game piece. It looks like an old Nintendo kind of blocks, right?
That was the whole body of work. It was all like pixelated, 8-bit.
Yeah.
And it would be like
one of JFK's assassination.
Yeah, it was like JFK's assassination.
The first time I came over his house, he has a 6-foot painting of JFK's assassination on his wall.
Oh, it's like 9 feet.
9 feet. Excuse me. Excuse me.
Well, it's called JFK the Game, and then I'll have like this like part of the lighter philosophy of like branding it or like selling it. So it'd say JFK the Game, and it'd be like mind-blowing fun.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah,
like that kind of
wow.
So
it's like a commentary on like
Yeah.
I did Brokeback. That first painting I did was Brokeback Mountain the Game, which I think is a beautiful painting, and it's like Brokeback Mountain one-on-one action. Like that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But I did the 9/11 piece. That was a big piece for me because I actually didn't brand it. It was called Before and After. That was that piece. That's what it was called. Because so many people kept referring to it like it feels like a movie. Like we're so saturated with media that the first thing we related to is a movie, right? We're like, it's so weird how we see things. So I thought it'd be interesting to put that spin on it and put it in like a pixelated 8-bit, painting. And I don't have to brand it. Like,
sure.
I'm actually thinking about coming back and doing more of those.
More of those pieces?
But I want to do it. I'm trying to figure out how to do it with, I've realized that native weaving is the original pixelation. And I want to combine the two so that it has a woven feeling over a picture.
Oh, that's it. Anthony is native for people that don't know out there.
Yeah, and I'm Cherokee. So I'm quarter Cherokee. I'm enrolled with the Eastern Band of Cherokee Indians. Yeah. And that's a big part of my culture and what I do also as a filmmaker.
Sure.
So
like how I talk about being a scumbag Italian on here a lot. Anthony relates.
Are you Italian?
Shut up!
I am Swedish?
Yeah, I'm half Swedish. We don't talk about that on the pod.
No, you're supposed to. Your mom wants.
Oh, my mom yelled at me.
She wants him to talk more.
Your mom is.
You're more Swedish than Italian.
Yeah, my mom goes. She goes, I'm disgusted with the pod. I go, why, Mom? What's the matter? What's the matter? She goes, you're out here telling people you're more Italian than Swedish. She goes, I'm 100% Swedish. Your father? Barely Italian.
Wow.
That's is he really barely Italian?
No, he's Italian, but
Italian.
She says that to be mean. She says that to get under my skin. That she knows bothers me.
But there is something true about that. I wish that I was more Cherokee than I am. That's being brutally honest.
Sure, it's who you identify with,
yeah,
right? Like what part of your upbringing, your culture were you most attracted to?
It's interesting because when I'm here, I want to be more Cherokee, right? But when I'm there, I'm very happy with who I am because historically, people like me really served a good function for our tribes. Because we were kind of like the conduit between the white world and indigenous world.
Yes,
right?
they needed someone that was white passing to be able to be out there, in the regular.
The whole reason
outside the reservations. Yeah.
So there's 3 Cherokee tribes, 2 in Oklahoma, Cherokee Nations in Oklahoma. They have like 160,000 enrolled members. We have about 16,000. We're in the western mountains of North Carolina, literally on the border of Tennessee. And the whole reason we're still there is because the Trail of Tears, we're very rebellious and we retreated to the mountains, to our homeland. And basically we're fighting off the government for many years. And we actually had a white guy that was raised up there who became a lawyer and was the guy who basically got us to be able to stay there.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So it's if we didn't have a white person help us, we probably wouldn't be there. They probably would have kicked us out at some point.
And that's someone using their privilege to help you.
Yeah, I guess so.
What do you mean? That's exactly what it is.
A little, white savior.
It is white Cherokee. Savior, but it helps you in the long run.
Privilege is such a loaded word for me. I think about it all the time.
Do you?
Yeah, I think about it all the time because it's
you have hot privilege.
I got hot privilege.
It's Anthony! You're a piece and a half. I've jerked off to the idea of your face. What are you talking about? That chin?
No, hold on.
You look like you're 23.
What are you talking?
You look like you're a 23-year-old boy band member.
Let's roll this back. When did you jerk off to me?
Yeah, no, I never jerked off to you, but I hypothetically, shut up! Don't you dare! I'm speaking in hyperboles, okay? Over here, you're a piece. You know this.
I don't think so.
You don't think you're?
Oh, shut up! No, don't you
don't
dare!
Think so?
No.
I hate you. I hate you. You don't drink coffee and you're not a piece, Anthony. No one's gonna believe you. Say you're a piece.
I don't think I'm a piece.
Here's how, I'll tell you how I know you're a piece. You told me a story once that you were on the subway, you made eye contact with the girl, and you were fucking minutes later.
Minutes or
Minutes
an hour?
later?
You said literally you got off the train by your house and then you went straight to your apartment and started having sex.
I don't remember that.
I remember it.
But I will say something similar to your, argument, is that I met a girl on the airplane.
Okay.
Who was sitting in the aisle and I was sitting in the window and no one was between us. And it was an overnight flight from San Francisco to New York.
Okay.
And I ended up getting a blowjob in the seat.
You just heightened my story. You literally heightened. No. That's not the story I'm thinking. I'm thinking the story that you two were on a cruise ship, just the two of you. No, bro. Yeah, you're a
cruise
piece.
Ship. There's no hot people there.
Yo, you are right. No, you're right.
I'm playing.
Clip it.
I'm playing.
You're in a carnival. You are a circus.
I'm playing.
Oh my! Wow, you got head on a plane from a stranger?
Yeah.
How exciting is that? How exciting is that for you? What was the small talk that you said before?
Oh, this is when I was like, I first got into riding motorcycles and I had a barber jacket. I know you're about to see the motorcycle thing.
No,
I had a barber jacket, which is like a traditional, London style jacket.
I will say this:
waxed.
when you get into this stuff, you get very nerdy about.
I'm a nerd.
Yes, you're a nerd when it comes to hot boy shit.
Hot boy shit. I'm a nerd for everything, though.
You just talked about
You only choose hot boy stuff.
No, not hot boy shit.
No?
There's so much nerd stuff. Dude, I play chess like religiously.
So is Howard Stern, the hottest boy of the hots.
Harry Stern's a beast.
Yeah, he is a beast at chess.
He's a beast at chess.
I also think it's good for your mind, and you care about shit like that.
I know some hot boys that play chess.
Yeah,
there's some hot girls that play chess.
Yeah,
you don't gotta tell me the Queen's Gambit.
No, the Boatez sisters, they're stunningly beautiful and they're like really great chess players, and it's like cool.
So you were wearing this jacket on the plane.
I'm wearing this jacket.
I never heard this story.
And she's like, my daddy has a barber jacket, and I was like,
she's British.
I was like, well, she's British, and I was like, cool. I was like, oh, cool. And then that was the start of the conversation. If I didn't have a barber jacket, I might not have got a BJ.
I think there's a lot of other people that could be wearing a barber jacket that don't end up with the BJ.
So you're saying that all I need is a barber jacket to start getting dome on planes?
From strangers. I also would go as far as saying you could have been wearing another outfit and maybe still ended up at BJ.
Yeah, the biggest factor in which is there was no one sitting between us. That's the biggest factor.
That is the biggest
factor. That was
huge.
Great. Nothing would have happened had there been somebody in between us.
I will say you can also talk. Obviously,
you know how you're not
getting. Yeah, you're not getting that. It's not just.
Yeah, it's not just looks. I'm not trying to say.
No, of course. But the thing is, too, is we meet people, we have a connection with people, right?
Yeah.
There's an energy that you feed off of that you could feel if someone's into you.
Yeah, 100%.
Right? You know it.
Yeah, absolutely.
So whether I met that girl at a bar or we met wherever, it just so happened it was on a plane, which is a very hard place to meet people.
Yeah.
Because usually people are when I'm on a plane, I'm very in my bubble. I got my noise cancellation headphones.
Sure.
I'm doing work,
That's amazing. Did you keep the TVs on while you got head?
It was on Virgin.
Oh my God. Oh my, tremendous. Wow, I never knew that story. But what makes you not want to enjoy being a hot guy?
The hot guy. Is this is this what your notes? Is this what the topics are?
I checked my hands.
Checking his hand.
Nah.
I said.
I will say when he
street arts hot guy.
When he prefaced you, he was like, "Yeah, he's really very, very good looking." That's how it describes.
It's so weird because this shit's all relative. It's funny because. Okay, so I was. You can never talk about the way you look without sound like a fucking egomaniac. So I'm going to preface that.
Okay.
I mean, some people could talk about the way they look without looking like an egomaniac.
Okay, well, I'm going to talk about
when I talk about the way I look, no one's like, Sebastian's an egomaniac.
I think I look way better now than I looked when I was in high school.
Okay.
Right?
Oh, yeah, sure.
Right? And that's a combination of doing things that are aesthetically pleasing to me, and also probably things that would be aesthetically pleasing to attracting females,
or
or even not females. Whatever.
Sure.
We talked about that recently. So,
oh my God. My family listens to this.
I told Sebastian, I mentioned I was queer. He's like, oh, I'm so proud of you. He's like, I love that for you. He's like, I love that for you. It's so sweet. He really meant it.
Because I want you to feel open, man.
What an evolution of being a human being that I'm 38 in my 38th year. I'm like, oh, I'm identify as like queer, but I also don't identify as that. Like, I'll say it, right?
You'll tell me I'm your friend.
I'll say it on a podcast though.
Sure.
No, but like, I'm not gonna go out and I feel like the queer thing personally, and this is a hot thing for, this is the shit that'll get me canceled. Okay. I feel like the queer thing kind of ruined the LGBT thing. Right? Because everybody's a little queer.
But I just thought, you're my friend. You told me that you were queer. I just want you to make you feel loved and accepted. Especially you hear my voice. You've heard my past.
Oh, yeah.
I want to make sure that you know I love that for you.
Oh, yeah. I know. I appreciate that.
And I totally believe in I think that everyone, it's a spectrum of sexuality. Yeah,
for sure. Yeah. For fucking sure.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, I was actually having that conversation. So I was having this conversation with my friend yesterday, and he was talking about how he got like this guy tried to take advantage of him when he was like, this guy slept over his house when he tried to take advantage of him. Yeah, kicked him out. And I was like, yeah, I had that shit too, but I was like 22 years old, where I was literally working a job like 20 hours, right? And I was in Manhattan, Irving Place, and I was like redoing ceiling tiles in this startup company that was like run by this guy who used to be the vice president of Def Jam, right?
Okay.
Wow.
So yeah, it was like all these rappers were coming in. It was like DMX was in there, like fucking Saigon was in there, Executioners. It was crazy.
This is amazing. And this was when you were rapping a little bit too?
Yeah, but I wasn't like, I was just doing my thing, right?
Yeah.
So I'm literally, and I got crazy neck, back, and shoulder issues from like a myriad of things. Mm-hmm. And I must have been like hurting and like rubbing my shoulder because the dude's like, I'm a masseuse. And this was like at like 1 a.m. And he's like, oh, my office is right there. And I was like, okay, cool. So I go there and the fucking dude basically starts trying to fucking get with me.
Yeah.
And like, I've experienced the feeling of being frozen by fear. I probably could have beat the shit out of the guy. I probably could have said no, but I couldn't do it.
Yeah.
Right? This is a comedy show, by the way.
Yeah.
And it took me a long time to be able to laugh about it because unfortunately, I was so like just traumatized by the whole situation. The guy got my fucking email, wouldn't give my number. He got my email, and every time the email would come, like every couple months, 6 months, and I'd just be like,
when you would relax,
when I would relax about it, and I feel so much shame and shit around it.
Yeah,
I don't care anymore. Like I really don't. I'm actually kind of happy I had that experience.
Sure.
That doesn't mean that I feel that everyone else should. Like everybody's experiences are different, but like that was a crazy experience for me because
and that you held on to for a long time.
Yeah, I held on. It took me a couple years to get past that. But the thing that's interesting about it was like I've experienced that paralyzing fear. So I'm really like sympathetic to people when they express that. They're like, well, why didn't you say anything? What's like, I get that. Why didn't I say anything?
Yeah.
I could have fucking punched the dude in the face.
Yeah.
So when he went to eat my ass, I just pushed it right in my ass.
Jesus Christ, Sneed!
I was like, you motherfucker.
If you're going to eat it good.
Like, you motherfucker.
Have you ever had your ass eaten?
All the time.
I could never, bro.
It's 2022. It's
I could never.
You got to clean. You got to clean.
The problem already.
You got to clean.
I clean. I just don't know. I literally think the walk from the shower to the bedroom is I'll develop sweat. I think I'll get swamp. I am Shrek.
You're Shrek?
Well, yeah, I do. I live in a swamp, and that swamp is my ass. Okay.
Oh my God.
I'm not. I've eaten ass. I just never. I don't think I ever want someone to eat my ass. It feels good. Just tell me it feels good.
It feels good.
Not great.
I think it's a combination of it actually feeling good and the idea of it feeling good.
I like that too.
Yeah. Like, and I you like Phoebe Bridgers, she's like on Twitter being like, yo, ass eating is like the shit. Like, not the shit actually, but she's like, ass eating is like, she's all about it. She's like pro and she's, and I'm like, cool. Like, great. Like, get that out there.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Do you have a bidet?
No, I don't have a bidet.
Interesting.
No.
I would get a bidet if I was going to be regularly having my ass eaten, I feel like.
Tushy. Yeah, you got a tushy.
Yeah.
Tushy.
Yeah. I guess that's good. European.
I don't judge want it to be clean.
I truly, the older I get, I judge no one for anything like that.
Yeah, of course not.
Yeah. Who knows? You like it? I tried a butt plug.
Yeah.
Not for me.
How big was it?
It was a beginner one.
Like how big?
I'll show you after the pod.
No. Show on camera.
No, it was like a little
Yeah,
like
but how thick though? The diameter.
oh like this,
Oh,
like a quarter.
You're such a pussy.
I
He
tried
was
it.
so proud. He was so proud of
We're
himself.
talking like this, bro.
Oh yeah, it's
No.
yeah. No,
What
it's
is this?
oh that's nice. This is a Ralph Lauren decanter.
But what's in it?
Water.
We should put alcohol in it.
We'll go get some alcohol.
Yeah, we'll go get alcohol.
Yeah,
put
we
in
should.
it.
It's enough is enough.
Enough is enough.
But I tried it. It was
butt plugs-
vibrating too.
Oh, you had a vibrating one. See, that's a little bit much for like
First time.
first time.
The person
anal
I
sex.
did it with was very kind and gentle, and like I kept on going.
You were very proud of yourself that day.
Because I felt like I
Yeah,
tried
yeah,
something.
yeah.
It's rare. When I was 11, I went on my first upside down roller coaster. It was the same kind of feeling, you
Yeah.
know? It was the same sort of excitement.
Yeah.
And the whole time I kept on saying, "Are you sure there's no poop?" Because it just felt like I was pooping.
Oh yeah.
'Cause I'm not
That
used
goes
to-
away though.
Does it?
Yeah, that goes away. Like the first time that you do that, like I'm all big proponent of the ass play, and
You were about it back in the day. Even
I've
before
always
you,
been about
you
it.
said that you were openly queer or whatever.
I was always about it.
I know. Yeah. There's no shame about that.
It's one of the most like erogenous places in your body, and there's this like stigma, especially amongst like straight men, that there's a part of your body that you could touch that will suddenly make you homosexual if that's a bad thing anyway.
Sure.
But once you get used to it, it's great. Like you probably started with something a little too big, and the vibration is like that would make you feel. I know that feeling. I have one.
Yeah.
So that's a little bit too much. That's a little bit too much for you.
Yeah, it was. I went. Yeah, I remember being like, okay, I'm done.
But if you just left one in and you didn't have the vibration on, you would ejaculate very hard. You should try it again.
Clip it.
What is clip mean?
I'm just joking.
like for the
Oh, so you
internet.
guys do this so you guys remember how to cut it?
No.
No,
I just
no,
say
no.
that at moments that are so wild that
Oh.
we would never use as a clip.
Oh.
Yeah. So, Sneed, you got to tell us about the Banksy. I know the story, but people that listen to the podcast don't know the story.
Oh.
Can you talk about this?
Yeah, I could talk about this.
The first time I went over your place, I saw your piece, and then I looked over to the left in your apartment, and there was an original Banksy.
Yes. So I got into street art in like 2006, and I had a lot of friends that were in that world. Like, you know, Fail, Shepherd Ferry, Judas
The Obey
Sapine.
guy.
Yeah, Judas Sapine.
No idea.
Did you ever meet Brendan?
Well, oh yeah.
Yeah.
I met your friend Brendan.
Yeah.
Sweetheart.
He's the best.
Yeah.
And probably one of my favorite artists too. And then like and Anthony Lister was a friend of mine at the time. And basically I got really into Banksy. And I saved up money and bought a Banksy print off of this photographer that I knew. It was an original Queen Victoria Banksy print. I spent like $6,000 on it. I think I sold it for like $8,000 like 3 years later. Stupid, because it's probably worth like 200,000 now. Like it's crazy.
Wow.
Yeah, I actually
So
had
have
7 Banksy prints, and I sold all of them. I've sold a lot. You know what? Though? I don't live with
You had
regret.
Bitcoin
No, you
back
can't.
in
I had
the
30. I had like
day.
37 Bitcoin.
I remember that. Yeah.
Like I don't care.
You
man.
don't. You live free,
That's
man.
good. That's
I lived.
good.
I rolled the dice.
That's great.
I have a Banksy. That's
You have
part
a-
of me rolling the dice.
Yes.
Yeah.
So what happened was, I was like, I was really obsessed with Banksy. I don't like. Not obsessed like a fanboy, but like I really liked what he was doing at the time.
You were an artist who's appreciating another artist.
Yeah, and I thought what he was doing was very punk rock. It was very exciting, and he still is, right? So what happened was in 2008, on the 3rd anniversary of Hurricane Katrina, he like out of nowhere did 16 pieces in New Orleans. Okay, I saw all of them on the internet, and I was like, damn, that's amazing, like, you know, cool. And then about like a week later, Hurricane Gustav was happening, and they thought it was going to be Katrina Part 2, and they evacuated the city this time. So I guess I'm assuming Banksy got evacuated because he did one piece in Alabama, and it was a piece of like a Klans member being hung, which is like pretty. That would not fly now. It barely flew back then, actually, because every person that I met down there was like, every person, like, I'll tell you in a second, actually. I was looking at the photos of that piece, and I realized it was on an abandoned gas station with like metal panels, like not even cinder block. And I was like, oh shit. It's like, this could be stolen because it doesn't belong to anybody. And basically what I ended up doing was I did a lot of detective work and I figured out where it was. Because someone had mentioned it was near a Home Depot, and I found all the Home Depots, and I found the highway, and I found a gas station on like Google like satellite, and I found out where it was. And what I did was I paid a cab driver and wired him money, this guy named Bernard, to go and verify it was still there.
Yeah.
And it was. So I got my friend Brent to fly down with me immediately to go down there. So we roll up. Bernard picks us up in the morning. Bernard's this like DJ cab driver, like he's dope. So we roll up, right? We're pulling up, and there's like a car in the parking lot, and I see the Banksy, and it's sprayed over with black spray paint.
Stop.
The owner sprayed over it because people were on the property taking photos of it.
Yeah.
So me and my friend were like, yo, we're still gonna take it and try to like get the top layer off. So let's go before anybody like gets in yet. You know, we'll come back later. So we come back later and it's just all gone. Like he just took it off, right? I was like, okay. So I go back up to New York with my tail between my legs because everyone that I knew in that street art world that I was just saying was at this party that was at my house that this kid Anthony was throwing. And I was almost the butt of everybody's joke. Like, oh, you thought you were gonna Banksy, like, ha ha ha, right? Like, what an idiot, right? And I'm not joking. And this, I wasn't drinking at this time. I didn't do drugs till I was in my like 33, right? So I was like 20. I was 24
really?
years old.
You didn't know drugs or anything till you're 33?
Nah, I smoked weed like once.
Sure,
but never. Right?
You and I made up for it a little bit.
Yeah, we made up for it a little bit. What did we do?
No.
What did we do?
Nothing. We just partied a little bit.
So basically, that party's going on. I go to sleep, and I wake up at like 5 a.m.
Okay.
And I can't sleep because I keep thinking in my head, I could potentially get one of those ones in New Orleans. There's 16 pieces.
Yeah.
So I go down. This is way before, this is my apartment I'm in now, but I had like a little tree house thing. It was actually pretty nice, but I took it down. So I went downstairs and I went under that.
I think I've seen pictures of your apartment from that era.
Yeah. So I had my computer and I just started researching. I started looking up the photos. And at this time, the website that everyone used for photos was Flickr. Remember that?
Yeah.
So and Flickr is more of like it's like Photo Bucket. It's like just like a place to save your stuff, kind of like what iPhoto is now, or photos. And I started searching for Banksy New Orleans. And what I would do is I would find other people's photos, not Banksy's, because Banksy's got 16 photos on his website. And other people would take other photos, and I would know because it's a different angle or someone standing in front of it. Yeah. And next to it in the comments, they'd maybe write a location. So I was like, okay. So then I would print out a map, the Google Street Map, right? Yeah. And then I would put like a pin on it, like a fucking detective would in a movie. Yeah. And I started amassing these pins, and there was probably like 6 that weren't accounted for. And of the ones that weren't accounted for, there was 2 of them that were on wood, that were on abandoned houses. So that for me meant either one of 2 things. It meant someone already got them, or no one's found them. So what I did was I started looking on Google Street View at the fronts of the houses in the areas where the other pins were, trying to match the facade, the front of the house, with the photo on Banksy's website.
Jesus.
And then that was Friday, Saturday, and into Sunday, and I'm on the Street View, literally. I didn't leave the house. I remember everybody went to the artist Swoon had a big show. Everyone went to it. I stayed, and I was on the computer. Yeah. The map got bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And I remember we had a bunch of my friends over Sunday night, late Sunday night, and I went in a part of the I think it was the 9th Ward. It was like across this bridge. It was really far east, and I found one of them. And I was like, holy shit, I found it. And the great part about that was that the other piece I hadn't found was on a corner. Yeah. So then all I needed to do then was just go to intersections, which made my search much easier. So within 2 hours, I found the second one. And in that, through that research, that one is a boy playing a trumpet. And there's graffiti on it in black, says AJM. What the fuck's that mean? Did Banksy write that? I don't know. No one knows, right? through my research, I found out AJM is the name of a demolition company, meaning that house is slated for demolition.
Oh, Jesus.
So I didn't have my license on me because I had lost my license and I needed to rent a car. And I had to literally convince one of my best friends, Mike, to come down with me, and my other friend, Brent. Did you ever meet Brent?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Brent. So Brent came with the guy who came to Alabama with me, came again with me. And I told him, I said, listen, if we get one, I'm cutting you guys in on like ownership of this as this gesture.
Amazing.
So we go down there and we go to the one, it's you can Google this. It's a turtle on a door, and instead of the shell, it's like a hard hat. Slow reconstruction. I don't know what the message is necessarily.
Sure.
Some of the pieces weren't that strong, but some of them were. And basically, we go straight to that one because that's the easiest one to deal with. And we pull up, and the fucking door is gone. You can see straight to the back of the house. So I'm just like, fuck. Like, I know that the other one's gone. So that one's on the other side of town.
Yeah.
So we drive back, and I'm like, just like sweating bullets at this point because I've just like spent a lot of money that I didn't have flying 3 people down on a ticket that I got like that moment. Like it wasn't like worst prices for a flight.
Yes.
So we go down there and we're rolling up, and lo and behold, it's still sitting there.
Oh.
So the first thing we do is we packed a circular saw with a battery. We get out, and it's just in Tremé. So it's like, it's not the hood, right? It's like a nice neighborhood.
Yeah.
We get out and we go up and we like we're going to cut it out. Just cut it the fuck out. And we turn on the thing, and it was like gunshots went off. It was so loud. The ricochet of that saw.
Yeah.
Like I knew that we would have been kicked out of there within 10 seconds by someone. Like, what the fuck are you doing? Get the fuck out of here.
Sure.
Because nobody knew in that neighborhood knew what that was. It didn't mean anything to anybody. Street art purists that are like, you stole street art. Like I've had to deal with that. They'll be like, oh, you can't steal street art. It's like, you can't put up street art. It's illegal. Like, what are we talking about? Right? So we would have been kicked out of there. But no one even, by the way, no one knew what that piece was. No one knew who Banksy was at that time. No one cared.
Yeah.
Right? And the piece we had is a boy playing the trumpet in the face of the hurricane. And like the water drops are going backwards. And by the time we got there, Gustav had already happened. So some of the paint had chipped off because the paint that was painted over it was already flaked off. Banksy's paint was fine, but we painted over stuff that was going to fall off anyway. Yeah. So we run back in the car, and we're like shaking. We're like, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? So I was like, all right, listen, let's go in, sneak in from the back and just evaluate what we got here. So we go in, and I'll never forget, it was like a burned down house. No one had lived in there for a while, at least like 4 years. Definitely since Katrina. I would say probably maybe Katrina, but it was burned down, so maybe it's before that.
Sure.
I don't know. I remember seeing a half-burned Little Romeo poster.
Amazing.
Right?
Yeah.
Master P. About it. So we're in there, and we decide we're going to take it off from the inside out. We're not going to cut it. We're going to preserve the canvas, if you will.
Yeah.
It was in a shotgun-style house, which I learned through my research is a 2-family home, right? On the same house, 2 doors, and it's split in the middle. Probably a very small house, actually.
Oh, yeah. A lot of Staten Island has those.
Okay.
Like right in the middle, it's like divided.
Yeah. So,
like families live, like parents and kids. And
yeah. So basically the canvas, if you will, then, because if you think about it, the doors are like this, and then you got these little windows next to it. Mm-hmm. So under that, it's almost like a long piece, and then above it, it goes up. So it's almost like an upside down T, but like a fat upside down T.
Sure.
And we start taking it off. And Brent, my friend Brent is MacGyver. There's not one person that's ever come close to what Brent can do. I've seen Brent build the most, like anything you need done, he can do it. And he's like, I got this. He's Australian. He's like, I got this, mate. I'm like, all right. So I'm chilling, and I'm just keeping a lookout at this point because we're making a little bit of noise, right? Mm-hmm. And we put stuff behind it so that as we took the stuff out and we were ready to take it down, there wouldn't be a gaping hole. And I'll never forget this. And this is something that I've thought about a lot, and I don't actually understand this. I believe that there's like a power in the eyes. There's an energy emanating from people's eyes that we're not aware. There's another, there's like multiple senses, like what, 6 senses? 5 senses?
I thought there was 5.
It's 5, right? So I think that there's more senses that we just don't have a language for yet. Right? So
Sights plus.
So I'm looking out of this hole. And like this is the front of the building, and then on the left side is the intersection of where right?
Sure.
And this car pulls past, and I'm staring at the back of this woman's head at a stop sign. I'm staring at her, and I swear to God, she turns around, and her eye looks and locks with my eye, and she goes and drives away. I could not, I can't, like, even when I'm saying this to you, it sounds like a bunch of bullshit.
Yeah.
But I witnessed it.
Okay.
And I'm like, I got chills, and it's not because you turned the AC on.
Who's this woman?
I have no idea.
And so,
you think you just were able to be like, I'm doing something here, and communicate that, and be like, you got to keep moving.
It wasn't even, I wasn't saying you got to keep moving. I was just like, I was staring at the back of her head. Like I was looking at anybody. There wasn't that many people walking by.
Yeah.
So anybody that walked by, I was staring for any little notice that they noticed us.
Yeah.
So I was making sure that this person didn't hear anything and turn around. Maybe she heard something. I don't know. But the fact that she found this little hole with my eye and looked at it and was freaked out, I don't understand it. To this day, I don't understand it.
Jesus.
Make a long story short, we take down the pieces, right? And we get them in the back of the car that we rented. We go to a parking lot. Brent flat packs it, and we ship it via UPS, like $600. Get it a week.
Scary. It's a scary ship.
Not when Brent packs it.
Oh, yeah.
If I packed it, he took like foam, like this like blue foam, and he put it in the parts that the art wasn't, and he stacked it on top of each other.
Oh.
It was genius.
Yeah, so there would be no rubbing.
Nothing was rubbing at all. And if it was rubbing, it was on the wood part where there was no art.
Amazing.
Genius. So we get the piece back, and it's in my apartment. Now, this is at the end of September 2008.
Oh, wow.
And it's in my apartment, laying down in slats. And now I'm the fucking hero. All the people that were talking shit and making fun of me now are like, yo, you did it. Like, oh my God, like this is crazy.
Look who's
laughing now. And that was a big deal in that community back then. That was a big deal back then. Now, that's like getting a Basquiat. Like,
sure, yeah.
In 20 years, like in 2028, the end of the street art movement is about 2008. And my friend Brendan's friends with the head of the MoMA, and he's like, don't sell it. After 20 years after a movement's peaked, museums will start doing retrospectives, and that's when prices go through the roof.
Oh.
So I refuse to sell it. I don't want to sell it anyway.
Isn't it going to be hard to make it?
It's not going to be hard to authenticate, especially with.
I feel like you can fake those so easily. What about
Dude, I got the video of us taking it down. I archived his website. Smart. I archived his website.
Look, he's thinking ahead.
Yeah, that was smart. I mean, you were doing all this work.
Yeah.
You might as well cover your tracks.
So I got this piece in my apartment on the ground, right? October 1st, October 2nd, all of a sudden, there's a pop-up art show in the West Village called The Village Pet Store and Charcoal Grill. And it was kind of a commentary on animal rights. It was a Banksy show.
Oh.
Without his name on it. The reason why he did that is because he did a show in LA that really kind of put him on the map in America that had a painted elephant. And I think it was called The Elephant in the Room. I mean, there was other pieces, but it was a real elephant. It was painted like pink, and it matched the wallpaper with like gold, like almost looked like a Louis Vuitton kind of pattern.
Sure.
And he got a lot of shit for that because it was like, you don't paint an animal nowadays, right? So he did this really cool show that was a pop-up out of nowhere. So we went to go see it.
It's a reaction to his last piece, his last show.
Yeah, we wanted to go see it anyway. I mean, I'm a Banksy fan. And by the way, I'm on the phone with Frank, my friend, who's a filmmaker.
Who we spoke of earlier.
Yeah, so Frank, his name's Frank Henenlotter. He's a cult horror.
Oh, no, we didn't speak of him before.
Cult horror comedy director. He did Basket Case, Frankenhooker, Brain Damage, Bad Biology.
Which my parents love those movies. They said they were so campy and fun.
Yeah,
and
they
back in the day,
it
was like a big thing that like people my parents' age, they would get together and they were like corny and cheesy and this very self-aware. These movies.
It's cheesy if you don't actually. The more film intelligent you are, it's actually not that cheesy.
But
if you're not aware of like the references and like the awareness of it, it's just cheesy.
Sure, it's commentating on what's on other pieces.
It's actually very intelligent. When I first saw it,
my cousin's favorite movie
Really?
Basket Case.
There's a lot. John
I still have the
John
shirts.
Stewart's favorite movie.
Oh, really?
There's a lot of people. Prince
Yeah.
Paul from De La Soul, like the producer. So, anyways, make a long story short, I'm on the phone, out of breath at New Orleans airport, and I'm like telling Frank about this story.
Yeah.
Now, he knows who Banksy is because I was talking about him a bunch.
Yeah.
This was your mentor for a while.
And he's like,
you talk to him every day.
I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, this is a movie. And he's like, before I could say it, he's like, this sounds like pages from a movie.
yeah,
So we decided we're gonna make a movie about this at some point.
amazing, and you did.
We did.
Yeah.
We're actually, I'm getting it rescanned now. At
Amazing.
At 6K, we're gonna put it out. So my 25th birthday, October 11th, 2008.
Okay.
We're at Sweetwater on my block, North 6th,
Of course,
which I've been to a million times.
of course.
I've got about 16 people there. Frank's there,
Yeah,
Brent's there, Mike's there.
You got a table. They love you there.
Yeah, it's great. So the guy Anthony that I used to be friends with, the artist, he comes late, and he's like, when he comes in, he's like a real cool guy, right? So I saw him, look like he saw a ghost, and he's like, come outside. I'm like, what? I'm like, whoa, what's going on? He's like, I just met Banksy, and I was like, shut the fuck up. I thought he was fucking with me.
Of course.
And I was like, how?
But you know he's in New York City right now.
Yeah, I mean, that makes
Because
sense.
of the West Village.
That
Yeah.
made sense. So I go, how? And he goes, he's hanging out with Judas Sapine, my friend Brendan.
Yeah.
I wasn't really close to Brendan back then.
Sure.
And it made sense because Brendan had done stuff with Banksy in like 2004. He did like the Santa's Ghetto show that Banksy put on, the Bethlehem Wall, all that stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm like, crazy. And he goes, he's coming to your party.
Your birthday party.
I'm like, what party? He's like, the one we're having at your house. And I'm like, oh my God. So I go back in looking like I saw a ghost. Frank's like, what's up? And I'm like, I don't ever get like that. I never get like that.
Yeah.
There's a lot of reasons why I got like that. Aside
Yeah.
from somebody that you're not supposed to know who he is,
Yeah.
and he's coming to your fucking house.
Yeah.
And then you got a fucking 12-foot long by 6 foot, 7 foot tall piece that he did
Yeah.
1,500 miles away a month ago in your house in Brooklyn. So the plan was they were gonna leave Anthony and someone else, and Brent were gonna leave my house early and go de-Banksy my house because I had the print, I had that piece, and I had the book that like every college kid had.
You didn't want to look like a super fan. Oh, well, you look more than that. You stole one of his pieces.
Well, I just didn't want him to know that we knew anything.
Sure. Oh, even
he's
who
just
he
going
was.
to a regular party.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So okay,
Because he doesn't introduce himself as he or she. I don't want to assume.
Not at all. No, he does not introduce himself as Banksy. Basically, we go back to my house, a party ensues, and about 45 minutes after we get back, these 4 British guys in their like mid-40s come in. And it's like so obvious, right?
Yeah.
And it's an entourage. It's like a crew, right?
Sure.
One of the guys, I'm assuming,
His name
is
Turtle. I'm sorry.
with the hard hat on.
Oh yeah.
That was a callback. You taught me that in improv.
Of
coaching.
course.
Okay.
Of course.
So basically,
That was a Jerry Ferrara reference.
Yeah,
I think more than anything.
Yeah.
that show sucked. It
Oh,
was good at the
yeah.
time. It was good at the time. And I hated that song until I realized it was a Jane's Addiction song, and I was like, oh, I like Jane's Addiction.
And then you liked it.
And then I liked it.
Yeah, you suck. I hate that mini story you just told.
No. I started listening to that album and I was like, oh, you know what? I actually like it in this context. So seeing with those visuals, it was just.
Not Hollywood Boulevard.
They were like,
my mind a bitty paper and the memory you overflow. I want to be your superhero.
Oh. They're like, how do we make Sex in the City for guys?
That's what it was.
That's what it was.
Made in New York is a better version of that show.
I need to watch it.
Yeah, it's about fashion. It's pretty cool.
About what?
Fashion.
Okay. Cool.
Cool.
I'll check it.
So these
So
4 British guys walk
and
into
one
your
of them
apartment.
is
Walk in.
presumably Banksy.
Yes.
The apartment that we spoke of earlier that I showered naked in the jacuzzi every day.
I've been in the same apartment since January 1st, 2008.
Beautiful.
Okay.
Except when I went to school, I went to film school in LA for 2 years, but I still
And I
subletted
missed
it.
you every day that you were gone.
Missed you too. So basically, I'm back. We're there. These guys come in. And it's the weirdest thing because we're not supposed to know he's Banksy,
Yeah.
right? But he knows who Frank is. And he's a fan of his films.
Yeah.
And their entourage, like one of the guys in their crew is like got a son that's in the film and like they're like, yo, can like my son in like be on one of your films, you know, that kind of thing. And like they start,
Sure.
it was the weirdest thing. So the drunker they get, They're playing. They took over my iTunes at the time. As iTunes.
Yeah.
You let Banksy take over the aux cord.
And they're basically playing like all Britpops, like Blur, you know.
Okay.
I don't even think they played Oasis, but I remember this. The one guy who's in the British SS, I guess that's like their Navy SEALs, I believe. And I would assume he's kind of like their strong arm muscle.
Sure.
Right? I mean, don't quote me, but that's what I'm assuming. This is all.
Of course. We're not quoting you on any of this.
The drunker they get, the more things that they're revealing. So they revealed one thing. They were like, yeah, like last time we were here, like we flew to go see a Bast show. Now, Bast is an artist who's like this with Banksy. He just passed away recently. Rest in peace, Mike. Great artist. And was super tight with Banksy. But what 45-year-old man flies across to another country to go see a fucking street art show by Bast?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
okay, so that's one thing. The other thing was the British, the SS guy, he was like, he put on London Calling, right?
Of course.
And he's like, hey man, you see that album cover over there? He's like, yo, this street artist, he's like this well-known street artist, and like next month's gonna do a piece, and it's gonna be like a bouquet of flowers instead of the bass guitar.
Oh.
And I was like, oh my God, it's a fucking Banksy. And I looked for that piece like for the next year and I never saw it. And then like a year later, they changed it. It was that piece, but it was with an office chair, which was way better because he already did the bouquet of flowers thing.
Sure.
Right? And the office chair is so much smarter. So that was another thing. And meanwhile, they're 5 feet away from a fucking Banksy piece from New Orleans that's standing up with canvas on over it.
Wow.
Do you know which one was Banksy?
There was one guy and he looked like the guy from the photos that were like taken of him early on. He had glasses on. He kind of dressed like Banksy's never gonna hear this. It doesn't fucking matter.
He might. We have a wide listener.
Yeah, millions.
By the way, he got left behind. His boys all left and he got left behind in the house and they were fucking hammered.
Oh,
I almost had to carry the guy out, fucking Banksy, into the hallway.
Banksy almost crashed on your couch.
Almost. Almost. I'm not even joking.
Yeah.
Almost.
Yeah.
And here's the funny thing. So, I got really close with Brendan. He's like family to me, right? Like I love Brendan. And Brendan, I got the ball once we got to a place where I knew that I could ask him something like that, because I never was 100% sure that it was. I needed him to verify it.
Sure.
So I go, Brendan, I remember where I was too, where it was like he came to see one of my shitty improv shows at like on us like First Avenue or something like that, upstairs club thing. And Brendan's and I go, Brendan, did I ever meet Banksy? And he's like, no. And I was like, what? I was like, are you sure? I'm like, my 25th birthday, he was doing this show. He came over and he's like, oh, that was your place? He's like, oh yeah, definitely. And I was like, oh shit. I was like, oh shit, yeah.
Wow.
And then we ended up making the movie about it.
Do you think he knows the movie exists?
Yeah, I'm sure he does.
Yeah.
But they don't,
He doesn't.
He doesn't know. He doesn't know. I got the footage, the security footage of him though.
At the apartment.
Yeah.
I'm
joking.
Who knows what to believe now?
You gotta tag Banksy now.
We gotta tag Banksy. Yeah, that's it.
I mean, that's the whole probably most. I mean, everything's speculative with him.
Of course.
I mean, listen, my friend. I was talking.
This is a comedy podcast. Remember? Who knows?
I was talking to my friend Pat, who's in the art collective Fail. There's 2 guys. They're amazing. Like one of my favorite artists, but like they're 2 guys, and I remember they were doing a show at the same gallery, Lazaridis in the UK, Banksy's old gallery. And while they had this extra studio that they lent my friend at the time, Anthony, use, and Banksy stored one of the pieces there. It was a dolphin, like that you put a quarter in and you ride on it, but it had like a net on it.
Oh,
right. So we were all taking photos with that. I got photos of me in that piece. But Patrick told me that him and Banksy had a falling out because what happened was they were setting up for that show, and of course they knew about it because they were friends, and they had an intern working for them, and the intern went over there and like kind of like didn't keep his cool, and like they were like, "How did you know about this?" And he kind of like blew the.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah. So, anyways, make a long story short, we made that movie about this thing. And a lot of UCB people in it too.
Yeah,
where can people find it?
Except one UCB person.
Oh yeah, you weren't even on the scene yet.
I know.
You really were.
I know.
You came up fast as fuck.
Yeah, it was funny.
You came up really fast. Yeah.
Yeah. What can I say? I was a funny dude. Yeah. This kid likes me too much. Where can people find it? Where can people find it?
The movie? Yeah, where can people find it?
Do you want people to watch that? They should watch it short.
Yeah, what do you want to? Do you want to plug it?
Swipe?
Yeah, Swipe is mad good, bro.
Swipe's great, yeah. Swipe, I secretly put up on my website. I didn't publicly release it just because
I made him watch it. It was great.
It was great.
Oh,
yeah,
cool.
It's very good.
Yeah.
There's, you know what I've learned too? That there's movies that play really like well on your own, but there's movies that play good with an audience.
And that's a good audience movie.
It's a good audience movie.
Yeah,
like Frank's movies, like don't watch like the movie that I acted in. He did Bad Biology. Don't watch it by yourself. Watch it with an audience because
Rocky Horror kind of. It's a vibe. People yelling.
There's fucked up shit in it, and when you realize that you can laugh at that, you're like, okay, cool. Like this is this kind of movie.
Sure.
And anyways, don't even watch Bad Biology because they're doing a restoration of it, and it's coming out.
That's amazing.
Later on in the year. Yeah, and we're doing a restoration of the Banksy film. And we're changing the title actually to, it was called Chasing Banksy. We're changing it back to the original, which is The Art Thieves.
The Art Thieves.
Yeah.
It's more like a porn title. Right to the point.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Wow. We didn't even get to talk about how you fucked the person on the cover of the Blink-182 album. The time's up, but we didn't even get to talk about that. I'll just leave that there as a teaser for the next time you come on. Is that allowed to be out in the world?
Janine?
Janine!
Yeah, I mean, it's not a big deal.
It's a big deal, bro. It's a big deal.
When you were 12.
I'm still 12 at heart. That cover is iconic.
It is iconic.
But yeah, we didn't even get to talk about that. You go, what, Janine? That's amazing. When you told me that, I remember I'm like, this dude's special.
It was funny because, like I said, like Sebastian, if we're going British, knows how to take the piss. Like he knows how to fuck with, like he knows how to call me out on my bullshit. He's straight, like he's not a straight man, but when it comes to like in comedy, he always straight man.
He can frame you. Yes.
Fucking like call me out on my shit. But when I said that, the gears stopped turning for a second. And I saw the little hamster in there, wondering what to do. He's like, do I make fun of you? Do I salute you? What do I do? Yeah. What do I do? I don't know. This guy's not.
Yeah, I had no idea what to do.
You didn't know what to do.
Because the little boy came out.
How many times did you masturbate over that?
So many times. Is it crazy that I've masturbated over a woman that you fucked?
No.
It's not that crazy.
No.
It's not that crazy?
I don't think so. I mean, hot privilege.
This is hot privilege. I'm jerking off when you're fucking her, and we're all listening along.
And you're just standing in the jacuzzi.
And I'm just standing in the jacuzzi.
Like Copper Tone, baby.
Oh, my God. Yeah. When you told me that, it was early on you told me that. I remember, because I used to go over to Sneed's house like every day for like a year and a half.
Yeah.
It was like you and I were inseparable for like a little minute. And then you left for L.A., missed you so much.
I remember he called me and he was like, yeah, my boy Sneed's going to be back in New York.
Oh.
I remember. He's like, I'm excited.
But now you've just been going away every month. You're gone every time I talk to you.
Yeah, I'm mostly on the reservation.
Yeah.
Well, let me know. I want to come down.
I'm going to be down there. I'm doing a fucking pan. You know what I'll plug?
Yeah, plug it.
Yeah.
Should I plug this? No, I'm wondering, do I want people that are going to this to know about this podcast? No, I'll plug it. Who cares? I'm doing a panel on the 22nd in Cherokee with a bunch of filmmakers, indigenous filmmakers. So it's going to be really cool. It's my friend Pishawn Bread. She's amazing filmmaker, like producer. Kelly Gonzalez and Britt Hansel. They did a film that played Sundance this year. That's really I was really emotionally moved by it. And it's a really cool piece about like Cherokee and being Cherokee.
Yeah.
And then Sterling Harjo, who created Reservation Dogs.
Yeah.
So we're doing a panel together. Yeah, we're doing a panel together, and I'm showing Swipe, and I'm showing my new film Stripper.
Oh, amazing! I haven't seen your new film.
You haven't?
No,
I'll send it to you.
Send it to me. I'll watch it.
Yeah.
So can people watch that online, this panel, or only in person?
Only in person. So if you're in North Carolina near Asheville, they got tickets. You could go.
There we go. I love that. Robbie, anything that you want to plug?
No, just keep listening to Loud About Nothing. Follow the TikTok, follow the YouTube, follow us on Instagram.
This is amazing.
Oh, yeah, and we have shows. July
shows.
22nd and August 19th. New York is phenomenal. August 5th, we're in Philly. Philly is phenomenal. And then August 12th and 13th, will be in Rhode Island. Yeah, come out to the shows.
Yeah.
Can I ask you a question?
What's
Okay.
Of course.
Well, let's do a little comedy lesson really, really fast.
Okay.
Okay. So you're saying, what do you want to plug? Right? And then we have the connection of you with the butt plug thing from earlier.
Okay.
What would you do to make it funny? I want to see how you'd break this down.
How would
Sebastian, you got anything to plug today?
besides myself?
See, it was your
Because I
delivery.
already didn't like that.
It was your delivery too.
Yeah,
It was the delivery.
here's the thing. I don't know how to say funny things. I know how to say things funny.
Oh, okay.
That's true.
I don't know. My jokes
That's
are
not
bad.
true.
Yeah, sometimes they're fine.
Yeah.
But like, I know how to say things funny.
It's the how.
Also,
how you do it.
You
Yes.
make connections very quickly.
My brain works. Don't tell the audience that. We
Yeah.
like to
Like he was
let them
saying, your brain works very quickly.
It's better when you think he's like molasses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that when it's fast? Like, whoa.
That's what you like.
Yeah.
You like a slow guy. You like the slow guy. Anthony Sneed showed our drug dealer time to never mind.
I showed. No, I'm gonna say this.
Yeah.
I showed drug dealer time to a drug dealer.
Yes.
Okay.
And the funniest part about it was as it's going through. So how does that bit go? It goes. It's not a bit, but it's a thing you're saying.
Something like, go ahead, Robbie. You know better than me, probably.
What?
You go 5 minutes
Is
is
an hour.
It's like
Yeah,
half an hour.
Yeah.
15 minutes is an hour.
Yeah.
You go an hour and you're like, it's tomorrow. So as this guy's watching it, when it gets to that last one, he goes tomorrow. He guessed it immediately.
100%.
He
knows.
thought it was the funniest thing and he showed it to everybody.
Really? I love that. Drug dealers around Brooklyn are circulating our videos. We love this shit.
We're big on the drug dealer scene.
Hey, that's what I'm
That's
saying.
what we want to be.
That's what we want to be.
Yeah.
I don't want their numbers. I want them to have my number.
This is, by the way, was this a weird show?
No.
What? No,
No,
this was amazing.
No. But for like, we've really covered the gamut of like serious and funny and like,
That's what we try to do
Isn't
every
that beautiful?
episode, baby.
that's what comedy really is anyways, right?
It's an experience.
Yeah.
All I could ask for a guest is they show themselves.
Oh, great.
And that's all. You're beautiful at that.
Yeah, no filter, which is
100%.
a blessing and a curse.
It's a blessing as long as you stay truthful to who you are.
You guys got the tip of the iceberg.
Okay.
Yeah, I could only handle the tip. Okay. All right, Robbie.
I knew
Hit
that
the
was coming.
fucking music.
I knew it.